Right now, private health information of hundreds of thousands of people living in Adams County is threatened after a massive data breach. Who could be responsible for jeopardizing information over the course of 5 years? Plus, it's your last chance for early voting ahead of Tuesday's primary. What to know before heading to the polls. And skiing, sliding, and gliding their way into the weekend. Athletes are showing off their skills on the water in Janesville. A look at the national competition.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good Saturday morning, and thanks for joining us for News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is August 11th. I'm Josh Breiter with meteorologist Chris Reese. And Chris, looks like a pretty nice weekend on tap, and there will be quite the sight to see in the sky tonight.
Oh yeah, pretty nice weekend on tap. Of course, there's the meteor shower tonight that's going to peak as well. Here's how things are shaping up as of now. Beautiful out there. A few clouds were noted as I was driving in earlier today. The temperature 63 degrees. Of course, those winds are calm. The dew points in the low 60s as well. So don't be surprised if you do run into a little bit of fog. Like I said, temperatures are mainly in the 60s today, and so far we actually did have a little shower this morning. It just wanted to say hey. It popped on through and it was out just like that, and that's honestly a result of a weak little disturbance that came through, and there was just enough moisture. But we should be mainly dry as we go through the rest of today as well, keeping a lot of sunshine around after some patchy fog does lift this morning. It'll also be pretty hazy today, Josh. In fact, wildfires over Canada, the smoke from those will be across southern Wisconsin today. So if you see a little bit of a haze or smoke this afternoon, do not be surprised. That's what that's coming from. But it's going to be a pretty spectacular day.
Sometime that haze gives us a nice little sunrise in the morning. So.
Exactly. So I'm keeping my eyes glued to that, along with the possibility of a great sunset tonight as well.
All right, Chris, thank you. We begin this morning with a data breach in Adams County, potentially threatening hundreds of thousands of people. News 3 has learned investigators are looking at a laptop used by the Adams County clerk. 258,000 residents could potentially be affected across the state. Search warrants obtained Friday show investigators are looking at a laptop computer used by current Adams County clerk Cindy Philippi, all for evidence of computer crimes and misconduct in public office between January 2013 and July 2018. Adams County officials have notified the public of that data breach affecting people whose health and personal information is kept in Adams County computers. The county manager told us the suspect is a county employee but would not confirm or deny the employee was Philippi. Details from investigators in the search warrant show Philippi at one point had unexplained access to key security software. This would have given her access to sensitive information. As for the breach, the manager says they don't believe the information left the county.
From all the information we have, it's an internal breach. So we have employees that access documents or records that should not have, and that's what we're in the process of cooperating with law enforcement to address that.
Philippi remains the clerk in Adams County and has not been charged with the crime. 5:03 this morning. Right now, police are looking for a man they believe stole and used multiple credit cards in Wisconsin and Illinois. The Beaver Dam Police Department says it's investigating a theft by fraud complaint in which an unidentified person stole multiple credit cards from a local YMCA. The cards were either taken from the victim's vehicle or locker and were then used at various stores. Police say the losses incurred by victims as a result of the fraud is likely upwards of $100,000. Police released multiple photos of the suspect. The vehicle he is driving is a dark blue Chrysler minivan and often has stolen or temporary tags or no plates at all. The National Weather Service has confirmed an EF0 tornado touchdown in Deerfield during Thursday's severe storms. That's the lowest scale tornado, but with wind speeds of up to 80 miles an hour, it left a path of damage in town. The tornado actually ripped the roof off of IME building there, scattering the debris around 10 acres of that area. 3 of their employees were in the building at the time, but nobody was injured. The VP says if this tornado happened just 30 minutes before touchdown, they would have had nearly 20 employees in the building. The fire department and police department responded quickly to get their gas shut off as well. We're told all these things made the situation much better than it could have been.
I mean, structurally, I think we're going to be okay. It's just the roof is torn off the rafters, but from what we can tell and look at, we haven't got any, experts in here yet to look, but to see structurally wise, I think we're going to be okay. We'll just have to put a new roof on the building, and I know some of our equipment's been tossed around, but that's what we do.
Now it's just time to clean up. We're told they're working on getting the roof replaced and the power back on so they can get back to work. A first alert traffic note to keep in mind this weekend, especially if you're driving on Madison's far west side. County Highway M will be closed again from Cross Country Road in Verona to County Highway PD. That's near University Ridge Golf Course. It's the same stretch that was closed last weekend. This is happening until 9 o'clock tonight, but it could be extended to as late as 6 o'clock Monday morning if the contractor needs more time to finish the work. The entire County Highway M project is expected to finish this November. There's going to be a detour in place if you use Whalen Road on Fitchburg's southwest side starting Monday. Whalen will be closed between Fitchburg Road and Muchler Road through the end of the month for construction. 5:06 this morning. Today is the last day in Madison to vote early in next week's primary election. The number of in-person absentee locations will be open today at the city's libraries and the city clerk's office. You'll need a photo ID and you can only vote for candidates in one political party. If you're not voting early, polls open at 8 a.m. this coming Tuesday. You can expect to see some stuff piling up on the curb this weekend. Normal recycling in Madison is taking a 2-day break ahead of madness of downtown move-out days next week. City crews had been making special daily pickups of garbage, recycling, and large items, but they've temporarily stopped for the weekend. They'll start again on Monday, emptying refuse and recycling carts every day until next Friday. If you're one of the people moving out over the next week, you're asked to make sure all of your garbage and recycling are in the carts to keep neighborhoods clean. New this morning, on the heels of the CrossFit Championship, a tournament of a different kind is coming to Breese-Stevens Field this weekend. It's expected to bring in more than $100,000 for the city of Madison. It's the American Ultimate Disc League Championships. The Madison Radicals will take on teams from across the country, spanning from New York to Los Angeles. The coach says while Madison may not be as big as those other cities, the passion for Ultimate Frisbee is unmatched.
Weekend was here 2 years ago and it was amazing. We packed the stadium. People love Ultimate in Madison, and it's one of the few places in the world where you could see that kind of crowd.
It's incredible. We've dubbed Madison the championship capital because of all the state tournaments, hosting CrossFit, and things like the AUDL championships.
The Madison Area Sports Commission projects this year's event could have about $100,000 in economic impact. Dallas and New York play at 4 o'clock today, and at 7, Los Angeles faces off against the Radicals. The championship game is set for Sunday. One of Madison's best events of the year is set for later this morning. A local nonprofit is making sure thousands of kids in our community are ready for school next month. 100 Black Men of Madison hopes to help roughly 2,000 families by giving out free backpacks at its 24th annual Back to School event. Over the years, the group's given out around 32,000 backpacks filled with school supplies. For families who go, there will be vendors registering kids for after-school educational programs. There will also be programs specifically designed for kids of color to help them understand they can make it to college. This runs from 9 to noon today at Madison College's Truax campus. Thousands of competitive water skiers are in Janesville this weekend for the Show Ski National Championship. The 44th annual event is happening at Traxler Park. Teams from across the nation will compete in individual and team events continuing today and tomorrow. Janesville's own Rock Aqua Jays will perform around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The awards ceremony is set for later that day at 5 p.m. The Janesville Gazette reports the championship is expected to bring in $2.5 million into the city this weekend. 5:09 is your time. Amateur stargazers and astrological enthusiasts alike will have their eyes on the skies tonight for a meteor shower. But will the weather cooperate? Here's a live look outside this Saturday morning. Pretty start out there. Chris is in next with your full first alert forecast. And it's being called a movie based on a crazy, outrageous, incredibly true story. A behind-the-scenes look at the new Black Klansman movie now showing. That's just ahead on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good Saturday morning to all of you out there. It's a calm morning, though a little bit muggy out here. Also some patchy fog developing in some spots. Once again, just like we saw yesterday, though this morning nowhere near as dense as yesterday. Here's the visibility. For the most part, we are seeing 10-mile visibility across the board, but you see those patches of some dense fog. And where the fog is, it is truly dense. You cannot see where you're going. So you have a few spots that have zero visibility fog. As you work your way closer towards the lakeshore, though, the fog does thin on out. Lots of crystal clear conditions for us in town right now. 63 degrees the temperature with plenty of clear skies, but you see those dew points that are very close. 62 the dew point. When your temperature and dew point come together, you run into potential for some patchy fog, which is what some of us will see. And all of us do have those temperatures that are into the low 60s this morning, though some mid and even upper 60s do show up in spots. Temperatures will all make it into the low and mid 80s for those highs this afternoon under plenty of sunshine as we go through the rest of the day. It's going to be a little bit humid, a tad bit humid. It's barely going to be noticeable with those dew points into the lower 60s. I mean, the dew point comfort meter is going to be hanging between noticeable and bad hair days. So it's not all that tough in terms of how humid it will feel out there. High resolution Doppler showing you we have no showers or thunderstorms to worry about here in the immediate Madison area or across the upper Midwest as a whole this morning. That's actually because we have high pressure in control that's keeping us dry right now. Now on the western side of that high pressure, things are very hot, hazy and humid. And just in case you don't believe me, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of those temperatures from yesterday, just how warm it got. Bismarck 98, Glasgow, Montana, it got to 107 degrees yesterday. And speaking of haze, we could see some haze in our skies today coming from Canadian wildfires, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But a lot of sunshine will be noticed. Temperatures will top out into the low and mid 80s today and again for your Sunday as well, after starting out into the 60s. So just keep that in mind for the weekend. 84 again this afternoon, warm and hazy. A stray shower is possible, by the way, to the north and east. That's associated with the lake breeze, and then we'll keep more temperatures in the 80s with plenty of sunshine going through the start of the work week. A few rain chances coming in on Wednesday and next Saturday.
A few good days, a nice little stretch there, Chris.
Oh yeah, several good days coming up in our forecast, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Anytime.
Mr. Potter, our new celebrity.
Here's an event Harry Potter fans won't want to miss: Wizarding World XD Week. To mark the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone hitting American bookstores, Cinemark XD theaters will show all 8 Harry Potter movies plus the spin-off Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Tickets are $5 a show or $25 for a festival pass. The event is happening on August 31st. If you live in the Madison area, you'll have to drive a bit to see the films, though. The closest Cinemark is near Kenosha. The posters for Spike Lee's new movie say it's based on a crazy, outrageous, incredibly true story. David Daniel takes a look at Black Klansman.
Hello, this is Ron Stallworth calling. Who am I speaking with?
This is David Duke.
Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. That David Duke?
What can I do for you?
Well, since you asked, I hate blacks. I hate Jews, Mexicans, and Irish.
A black Colorado cop sets out to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan in Black Klansman.
How do you propose to make this investigation?
We'll establish contact over the phone. We'll need a white officer to play me when they meet face to face.
You for the white race, Ron?
Oh, hell yeah.
So there becomes a combined Ron Stallworth.
Can you do that?
With the right white man, we can do anything. A huge takeaway for me was the support that Ron got, that from the police officers that didn't look like him, that supported this mission. You know, that they did work together and were successful in their mission.
Spike Lee directs John David Washington, son of Denzel, in the film based on a true story from the early 70s, which Lee turns into a commentary on current race relations.
Well, I'm not even here. They'll still be looking at Black Klansman and use this film to show what's happening in America. Not just in the time that the film took place, but how we made this film contemporary.
Are you down for the liberation of black people?
Power to the people.
All power to all the people.
Washington and his co-stars were thrilled to work with the director.
He's actually really receptive to other people's ideas, and he really allows you to, voice your opinions and work together with him to create this story.
The best day, maybe of my career, is Spike Lee calls me personally and says, I want you to play this. I mean, he's a terrible man, but it's such a juicy role. So I was thrilled.
Black power! Black power! Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
That's us, Stallworth Brothers.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
What are you're ruining the take. Aren't you the director?
Another Chris Pratt project is up in the air. First Guardians of the Galaxy writer-director James Gunn was fired, putting that franchise in question. Now, according to multiple reports, Cowboy Ninja Viking, based on the graphic novel, has been put on hold indefinitely. That decision comes just a month before Pratt was to begin shooting in London. The action flick was scheduled to hit theaters next June.
Mr. Sokawa, may I present Ms. Roxanne Kos?
It is a great pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine.
And here's your first look at Bel Canto, based on the best-selling novel about a world-famous opera singer who becomes trapped in a hostage situation in South America. Oscar winner Julianne Moore and Oscar nominee Ken Watanabe star, and real opera legend Renee Fleming provides the singing. The movie hits theaters September 14th. 5:19 this morning, you'll hear a number of military planes overhead starting Monday, while they'll be flying over Wisconsin. And you might see more kids out on the links this weekend. It'll certainly be a great weekend for that. The program teaching kids healthy habits and how to sink a putt when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues.
Good morning. Fairly calm out there. Temperatures are into the low 60s as you do begin to step out the door. Pretty dark, but we're going to see that sunrise getting started here in just a few moments. This morning, we'll watch our temperatures rise from 64 to 77 degrees by lunchtime. Some patchy fog in spots, though most of us will be fairly comfortable. By this afternoon, warm and hazy with a stray shower possible to the northeast. We'll see those temperatures topping out right around 84 degrees. We'll stay mainly dry through the weekend and then across the northern plains. Hazy, hot, and humid. We'll talk about the impact that has on our weather coming up.
All right, Chris, thank you. 5:23 is your time right now. You might hear and see more planes overhead for the next 2 weeks. Volk Field is hosting the annual Northern Lightning exercise. Aircraft and personnel from the Air Force, National Guard, Marines, and Navy will be flying over 23 Wisconsin counties. They'll be doing offensive and defensive exercises, sometimes traveling at supersonic speeds, all to see how they can increase military readiness.
Northern Lightning is a great opportunity to showcase not only the base, but the great state of Wisconsin to well over 1,000 members of the armed forces from all over the country.
You can expect increased flight activity between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. starting Monday through Friday, the 24th. We have a list of all 23 counties affected on our website, channel3000.com. You might see more kids on area golf courses this weekend if they picked up the golfing bug from Friday's 5th annual Healthy Habits Invitational. The event is a neat opportunity for 150 kids from 12 First Tee locations and 5 other agencies to hit the links in Monona and learn the rules and etiquette of the game. First Tee of South Central Wisconsin and Humana lead the event, which goes beyond the game to teach healthy habits for every aspect of life. But the best part of the day,
Just the kids. I mean, just the enthusiasm, the love of the game, and knowing what they're going to learn from this experience that they can take on and really, apply to the aspects of their life in the future. It's so much more about the game of golf. It's just inspiring.
and steps along the course, part of the message of the day to get out, exercise, and be healthy. 5:25 this morning. There's more ahead here on News 3 This Morning Saturday. Your top stories are next, including the free back-to-school giveaway, making sure all kids are ready for the new school year. And as wildfires continue to burn across California, we'll introduce you to a couple who had planned on getting married before the state's largest car fire destroyed everything they owned. The news is back in the morning on News 3 This Morning Saturday. 2.5 weeks and counting. California's car fire continues to burn, destroying more than 1,000 homes. The story of one of those families who lost everything just as they were about to wed.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday, just before 5:30 on this Saturday, August 11th. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris will have your weekend forecast in a moment, but first let's get you right to today's headlines. First, a major data breach affecting more than 258,000 residents, potentially statewide. News 3 has learned investigators are looking at a laptop used by the Adams County clerk. Search warrants obtained Friday show investigators are looking at the computer used by current Adams County clerk Cindy Philippi, all for evidence of computer crimes and misconduct in public office between January 2013 and July 2018. Adams County officials have notified the public of that data breach affecting people whose health and personal information is kept in Adams County computers. Officials don't believe the information left the county. Today is your last chance to vote early in next week's primary election here in Madison. A number of in-person absentee locations will be open today at city libraries and at the city clerk's office. You will need a photo ID and you can only vote for candidates in one political party. If you're not voting early, polls open at 8 a.m. this coming Tuesday. A local nonprofit is making sure thousands of kids in our community are ready for school. 100 Black Men of Madison is hoping to help roughly 2,000 families by giving out free backpacks this morning. It's the 24th annual Back to School event. For families who go, there will be vendors registering kids for after-school educational programs. There will also be programs specifically designed for kids of color to help them understand they can make it to college. This runs from 9 to noon today at Madison's Truax campus. And now we'll go to Chris for a look at that weekend forecast. Looking pretty good out there, Chris.
Good morning, Josh. It's looking fantastic, especially once we get the sun up this morning. That should not be traffic there. That's actually odd there. Well, if you're curious about traffic, it's moving at its normal speeds this morning. No major issues downtown or across the Beltline at all. In fact, traffic is running rather smoothly. But here's how things are going to shape up as we go through the afternoon. Temperatures starting out in the 60s. We do have some fog out there. We'll warm into the 70s by about 10 o'clock by lunchtime. Temperatures making it to the low 80s. We'll top out right around 84 degrees today with plenty of sunshine. Here is the deal. There may be some haze on the horizon solely because we have that potential for smoke from wildfires in Canada to be filtered into our regions. We're going to be tracking the potential for that as we go through the day. Temperatures right now, well, the radar right now is mainly clear. We had one lone shower come through the area earlier today. That worked from about West Madison down through Fitchburg and then fell on out of here, but that's not going to be much of an issue at all. Temperatures, as you do step outside, are into the 60s. We'll keep them that way for a little bit before eventually reaching the low 80s this afternoon. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. Developing this morning, California's car fire has been burning for 2.5 weeks now. In that time, it has scorched more than 175,000 acres and destroyed close to 1,100 homes. One of those homes belonged to a couple who was about to get married, plans they've had to put on hold. Spencer Joseph has the latest.
He's a little wore out. Hey, you sit right here.
Bree Harless and Nick Fiscus, along with their adorable sons, like hundreds of others, are without homes tonight after the car fire tore through their community.
So I was getting a little worried. There was a couple firefighters up there from CAL FIRE that, I was talking to, and we were all pretty awestruck at how fast it moved and how aggressive it was.
What makes their story even more heartbreaking is that before the fire started, they were preparing for their wedding, which was supposed to be last Sunday.
We were planning on going forward with it, but then the smoke just was really bad, and we had a lot of family coming from out of town, which would fill hotel rooms that we didn't want to take from the people here.
Their wedding was very important to them, especially because Nick's father is dying of cancer.
His father is passing from cancer, and we want him there. We want him to be able to see us get married.
So now, in the middle of sifting through the wreckage of their home, the couple's thoughts are turning to how they can plan a full wedding on a time crunch. To make matters more complicated, their wedding venue, the Elks Lodge in Reading, was also evacuated from the fire, and they haven't been able to get in contact with the family. Aside from the venue, a lot of the wedding supplies were in Nick and Bree's home.
I don't even know where to start because everything is starting from scratch, from point A again with planning a wedding, other than the dress. You know, the dress is taken care of.
One of the few things that remained in the home was a love sign that the couple still plans on using in their wedding. And despite the disaster, Nick and Bree are strong and showing that love can make it through anything.
No matter what, we'll just stick it out and, you know, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes we don't feel like we're going to be, we'll be okay.
The car fire is less than half contained and is still threatening more than 500 homes. Time right now is 5:34. Construction won't stop an annual festival, and now's the time to book your tickets for a winter getaway to someplace warm. Plus, while it's the last straw for many businesses using plastic ones, a Wisconsin-based paper straw company is booming. The new deal is signed this week when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns.
Good morning. We are starting to see some sunlight enter the picture now. Temperatures do remain into the low 60s at 63 degrees. Dew points into the low 60s as well. So you may still run into some patches of fog and spots, but for the most part, we will be dry. Temperatures into the afternoon will top out into the low and mid 80s. That'll be coupled with plenty of sunshine as we go through the day as well, though things will be hazy with smoke from wildfires actually entering the atmosphere here in south central Wisconsin. So as we go through the afternoon, do be prepared for the haze, though a stray shower cannot be ruled out, especially northeast of Madison and closer towards the lakeshore. Josh?
Thanks, Chris. 5:38 this morning. Looking ahead now, the annual Monroe Street Festival will go on as usual this fall, even with major road construction happening right there. Organizers are submitting an application for this year's fair at the Street Use Staff Commission meeting this week. The festival is planned for September 22nd, even though construction on Monroe Street isn't expected to wrap up until November. Organizers are planning on setting up along sidewalks instead of the actual street this year. The event will mark its 41st year. A warning to anyone planning to use a gift card this weekend. Gift card scams continue to be a problem, which is prompting a warning from the FBI right now. Some cards hide the numbers and PIN numbers on cards, but others are easy to see. Some people go to stores and write down these numbers. They then monitor the card's balance and use it once it's filled. This is called gift card draining. Other cards have a silver sticker covering the PIN, but the FBI says thieves simply remove the old sticker, record the number, and replace it with a new one.
So the next question is, how do the thieves know when the cards have money?
Some of them, again, depending on the level of sophistication, will just go online, do it by hand. Others have developed custom written software. That software will then return the result to the hacker and say, here are the card numbers that have been activated, and here's the money that you can now use.
The Retail Gift Card Association says it now recommends retailers use packaging when covers and protects, or which covers and protects magnetic strips and gift card pins. As restaurants across the country abandon plastic straws for paper, the only producer of paper straws in the United States, Aardvark Straws, has been acquired by a Wisconsin-based company that makes disposable tableware. Aaron Taylor traveled to Oshkosh to learn more about how companies like the Hoffmaster Group and area restaurants are trying to stay on top of this earth-friendly trend.
Plastic straws are a $2 billion a year business around the globe.
In restaurants across the country, the tide is changing.
As that starts to transition to being paper, this will give us an opportunity to be in a leadership position.
But just across town, another solution has been stirred up.
About 8 months ago, we made the shift to not giving everybody a straw whenever they get a drink. We use wooden stir sticks instead of straws.
Plastic straws are still available upon request, but not a lot of people are asking.
We haven't kept formal records. Our best guess is about 10% of the people who ask for a straw, so we're using 90% less straws right off the bat.
Beckett's may not currently offer paper straws, but with Hoffmaster's purchase of Aardvark, management is interested in being able to shop local.
We like local things as much as we like good ecological things. It's been a little hard to get paper straws as people are making this shift. So if they can help Aardvark make straws more quickly, that's better for everybody.
We're really going to put a ton of time and resources into getting the production levels up so it can match what is an unprecedented consumer demand.
And in the meantime, they're not trying to stir the pot.
And some people just prefer to have a straw, and that's fine by us. We're not here to tell you how you should drink your drink. We're just here to help make the right decisions about your drink.
They just want to mix some drinks. In Oshkosh, Aaron Taylor, Local 5 News.
According to Hoffmaster Group officials, Aardvark paper straws are biodegradable, marine-friendly, and compostable. Well, now is your time to book your winter getaway. The Dane County Airport announced its newest nonstop destination this week, Phoenix, Arizona. The airport says it's the 18th nonstop flight they have. Frontier Airlines is adding the new service on November 17th. There will be 2 weekly flights to Phoenix's Sky Harbor International Airport. Flights will depart out of Madison on Wednesdays and Saturdays. 5:42 right now. Looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we've got some ideas for you. A variety of events that will have you laughing, singing, eating, and even feeling like a sorority girl. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 This Morning, Saturday. But first, happy birthday to all the kiddos turning 3 years old today. We're back after this.
Good morning. We are now starting to see some sunlight beginning to enter the picture. Here's a live look from our studio cameras looking out towards the east. Some high clouds and haze already starting to enter the picture as well this morning. There are some spots of dense fog. That's mainly across the western half of the state. Boscobel has 0 visibility right now. Viroqua, 3-mile visibility. Black River Falls right around a 1/4 mile visibility. Here in Madison, we are at 10-mile visibility, but there are some spots, especially as you get away from the city center in Dane County, that do still have some patchy dense fog. So do be aware of that. Here's a live look at the Capitol right now. 63 degrees, clear skies being reported at the airport, calm winds as well. Those dew points are very close to 63 as well, and that makes the point that I made about the fog. When your temperature and dew point come together, fog is something that you can certainly wind up with. 60s all across the board, although there is one 50-degree temperature showing up. That is 59 in Camp Douglas. Monroe at 69 as of now, 63 for our friends over in Mineral Point. Temperatures this afternoon respond through the 70s and into the low and mid 80s for those highs today. Many folks will top out right around 84, 85 degrees or so. And we don't have to worry about much in the way of rainfall this morning, not here in the Madison area or really across the upper Midwest, though there is a chance that an isolated shower pops up along the lakeshore today. That would be associated with the lake breeze, essentially winds coming in out of the east, could produce a shower or a thunderstorm or two. But for the most part, we are going to be very dry. This dome of high pressure will be very much in control of our weather. Hot, hazy, and humid on the western side of that. And when I say hot, I absolutely mean it. Here are those highs from yesterday. 98 in Bismarck, Glasgow, Montana. 107 was the high for them yesterday. We're on the edge of that, so we'll keep our temperatures into the mid and upper 80s as we go through the next couple of days. Lots of sunshine will be around with that as well, so we won't have to be too concerned in terms of just how warm we can be. But for this afternoon, we'll see those highs right around 84 degrees. Again, we cannot rule out the potential for the haze there. And of course, a shower is possible mainly north and east of Madison with the lake breeze. More sunshine into your Sunday and Monday as well. Slight rain chance Tuesday night into Wednesday. But ultimately, the forecast is one that is mainly dry as we go through the next several days. And your pet walk, say hello to Lily in Madison.
Oh,
it's going to be a pretty fantastic afternoon.
I think a lot of people will be outdoors today the way it looks.
Oh yes, a lot of people outdoors today and tonight as well. The chance for the Perseid meteor shower, and that peaks later on tonight between, I believe, 8 p.m. and 11.
Awesome. All right, Chris, thank you. Well, we've been asking you to share your morning with us. Oh dear. Bill Duda posted this on Facebook. This is out of Reedsburg. You can see the deer there. It looks like eating away there. My kind of deer. Thanks for sharing, Bill. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, or you can find us on Twitter or Instagram. Be sure to use that hashtag MyNews3Morning, and we share our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. It is the weekend in the 608.
And here's a look at what's going on in the Madison area.
It's your chance to be a sorority girl for a night, or sorority girl rather, for a night, and maybe work on your bend and snap. It's Legally Blonde, the musical at the Middleton Performing Arts Center. Join Ellie Woods and her chihuahua as they take over Harvard Law School in an attempt to win back the boyfriend who dumped her. The local actress is the lead role in pursuing an acting degree at Ithaca College in New York. Best of luck to her. You can catch an evening show at 7:30 tonight or a matinee performance Sunday at 2.
The 3rd annual Madison New Music Festival continues all weekend long. It takes the Madison Museum of Contemporary Art, showcasing classical music created in Wisconsin. The weekend is comprised of 3 concerts this afternoon. At the Bethel Lutheran Church, there's a spiritual organ music concert. The concert closing the festival will take place tomorrow evening in the Robinia Courtyard on East Wash Avenue, and will bring together the musicians who performed throughout this event.
This Sunday is your chance to eat, drink, and be green. From 1 to 7, artists, chefs, and beverage vendors will come together at Tenney Park for the 2nd annual Makeshift Festival. The food booths for local and Midwest restaurants will be small, affordable plates, and art installations will promote sustainability and love for public green space.
And finally, this series is just so good, we can't leave it out. We usually promote weekend events, but Jazz at 5, a free concert series on the Capitol steps taking place every Wednesday night, is not one to miss. For the next 4 Wednesday nights, 3 acts will be showcased starting at 4, 5, and 6:30, and it's the 25th anniversary for Jazz at 5 as well, featuring youth groups and professional players. It's perfect, really, where concerts on the square leave off, Jazz at 5 picks up to close out the summer.
Great timing there, and as always, you can pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. There's a full hour of News 3 ahead at 8 o'clock. Tonight at 6 and 10, we're heading to the Battle of the Badges as local police officers and firefighters take the field for a special cause. How they're using a softball game to make a difference in children's lives for years to come. But first, following the money. A citywide treasure hunt is in one town, drawing thousands of people searching for thousands of dollars. We'll take you there when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues. Welcome back at 5:55 this morning. If you think treasure hunts are just for kids, think again. People living in South Carolina had a chance to win some big money this week.
But in order to do that, they had to find some things first. Joe Ripley takes us along their massive treasure hunt.
I read about it on Facebook. I was like, yeah, I ain't got nothing to do after work. Go try to find some money, you know.
Gerard Henderson ran to follow the money.
I'm hauling. I'm going as fast as I can.
It's gotta be close. Where is it?
Others unearthed plants and waded through water.
We saw people rolling down the hill. It was crazy.
The crowd grew and grew and grew. Thousands of people glued to their phones, waiting for clues to win the cash.
Nothing dangerous. I want to be respectful, but nothing, you know, I'll be calm and I'll do what needs to be done to get the money.
Calm quickly went out the window. The dash for cash, 20 $100 bills dispersed in downtown Greenville. Ordinance released every half hour.
I like to have some, yes. But it's hard to keep up with these young people.
It's just a great way to bring people together and have some fun.
Some got their hands dirty, put in some sweat equity, gathered around Game Masters with red balloons.
It was crazy. There's a lot of people running. There's a lot of people out here, I think a lot more than we kind of expected.
And for 20 winners, their hard work paid off.
Under the stairs, over there.
Thousands spent hours to get rich quick. It only took Seth Crawford about 20 minutes. He considers the hassle worth it, especially for a nice dinner.
I was like, yes, that's it.
The hunt was first planned to take place last week, but bad weather forced a delay. Always crazy to see what people do for a little cash, right?
I know, right? I mean, gosh, I decided to go into weather for it. Speaking of, we do have a pretty nice forecast going on today. Fire up the grill if you have the chance to do so. Not only today, but tomorrow will be some pretty spectacular weather days that we do have on tap for the weekend. As we go through the next 10 days, temperatures will be above average initially before we begin to cool things down closer to where they should be for this time of the year. This morning, temperatures rising from 64 to 77 degrees by lunchtime, topping out right around 84 degrees this afternoon. Warm and hazy with some of that smoke from the wildfires coming in, and in extreme northeastern Wisconsin, we cannot rule out the chance of an isolated shower.
Whatever you had on that grill looked pretty tasty. All right, we'll see you back here at 8 o'clock for more News 3 This Morning Saturday.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.